sort of a serious topic.
We do have a serious topic, but a good one.
A very good one, because it affects your business. It affects how you work and how you feel about your work. And that is
Emotions. Like, most people are scared of them, except artists, because we have so many.
So many big ones. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, there's so many pieces of how emotions affect you in your work. And I remember reading somewhere they talked about like life stressors, things that can be difficult to deal with, and just moving, a new job, you know, death in the family or someone close to you. But performers especially, we have job transitions all the time. So you have auditions, you get rejections, you get
lots of rejections.
Lots of transitions. And so that can bring up a lot of emotions with that.
Absolutely.
Plus, our job is to feel and
to show feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, in opera, it's, you're always like bipolar, because act 1 you're happy and in love, and then act 2 you're like jumping off a building or something. So I guess what we want to talk about today is like, how do you deal with that as an artist? Because there have been hard times in my life where I had to go on stage and act all happy, act like, you know, you leave that at the stage door, and then, or can you bring it with you and make it part of your performance? I think it depends on the show.
Yeah.
But let's kind of talk about it.
Yeah. So what do you do when the emotions you're experiencing off stage are in conflict with what's happening on stage? Are there things that you do to help?
That's a good question. Just in general, I do a lot of journaling. I think that helps kind of keep even keel, because then you get it out right away in the morning. You just, whatever's in there and it's brewing, you get it out. Or if something happened during the day, sometimes I'll journal later in the day. That's kind of my like everyday thing. If something is in direct conflict, I'm trying to think, because what's interesting for me, stage has been therapeutic.
Yeah.
I could take what's been going on in life that was really hard and put it into things. Like one time I was going through a really hard time in life and I was doing dialogue with the Carmelites, so I got beheaded as a nun, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
And there were these emotional times with the Sisterhood of Nuns on stage where we were like bawling together, and that was exactly what I needed. So that was awesome. And then I did the role of Susanna, and she goes crazy and she experiences depression, and it was crazy therapeutic how I could put what I've experienced into that role and walk off stage and be like, wow, that was great.
Yeah.
The audience is like, So for me, it's a strange, like the stage is therapy in a way, if you can be real with your emotions.
Yes, and I think that honesty, I remember having a teacher one time and we'd do a check-in before class started and just say how you're feeling that day. And I think being honest as a performer, so people say actors are good liars, I think that's a bad way of understanding it. I think you should be a good truth teller, that you really understand how you're feeling so that you understand what your characters are going through. And I feel the same way about the stage. Like, it's so therapeutic. It's a safe place because you have this spot where you can be really big and intense and it's okay. And that you know where things are going to go, where in life you may not have that safety in other areas to be able to go and feel those things and put it into it, I guess. Yeah. So what about, have you ever had experiences with really intense emotions on stage that you had a hard time getting rid of afterwards?
I feel a weirdo now that we're talking about this, because I'm like, no, actually, like the hardest roles came at a time where to me it was therapy, which is weird. But I've had friends that have done the same roles and struggled because they were so heavy.
Yeah.
I think what I had gone through in life felt heavier than anything.
Yeah.
So by portraying heavy on stage was like, oh, I'll let it out. Yeah. There we go. So that, I don't know, how about you?
I think there's certain characters when I did Ophelia.
Ooh.
And she's really intense and emotional.
Yeah, was pretty
And
intense.
and you're bringing up different things. I don't know, the carrying that. There's a letting go, I guess, at points, and so there are some times where I just feel tired maybe afterwards when you take on something. But I do really like having the opportunity to put my emotions somewhere specific. That is so helpful for me. 'Cause, I mean, I had a counselor say to me, she's like, your heart is like way too big for your body. Like, I know. So when I feel things so intensely, to have a place to put things intensely feels really nice. Feels good.
And there are those sometimes we have to separate ourselves. And we were talking about this earlier. So it just happened to be that those roles that I did were super helpful to me. At a different point in my life, they could have been too heavy.
Yeah.
It could have been too heavy. So what do we do in those times? And you had asked me that at first, and I was like, I don't know. Journaling. But I did, I say go to counseling. Even if it's just for an opera role. That really helped me get through Susanna. Actually, I don't know if you don't know the role. It's really intense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, talking to a counselor, journaling, salsa dancing, find a hobby, running. What else do you do?
Running is a huge thing for me because it really helps me process things, and for me, doing physical things gets the emotions out instead of holding it inside. And things that help me, I don't relax very well, and so having I'm too intense to relax. And so like getting a massage, going to an acupuncturist, those things, there's someone else helping me do something that I may have a hard time doing myself.
Massage.
Yeah, that's really helpful.
A little scared of the acupuncturist, I'm not gonna lie. She's told me.
It's amazing.
Hold me accountable. I need to try it. I do like the chiropractor as well.
Yes.
Especially if you're running or doing athletic things as well.
I think about maintenance. So Western medicine is all about fixing a problem. More Eastern medicine is about preventative, and I think as performers we need not like just maintenance and preventative things so that you can sustain high energy, high emotions when you're doing roles.
Right.
So,
it's for mental stability. Really.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
I get a massage because it helps me physically, but I mean mentally.
Yeah.
Ooh, you need that.
And I had, one of my acting teachers would say, I don't know why I teach actors, I should teach everyone else. Because I think acting is about, performing is about learning to live. And there are things that all of humanity, maybe actors just experience it more intensely, or we need it for more intense moments. But it's things that I think everyone can benefit from in some way.
Right, we were talking about how some people are afraid, they get all uncomfortable when they see somebody crying, and we don't. And we're like, well, it's probably because we cry a lot in life, because we feel things.
We feel things
on a big level. So I think as performers, part of our job is to help other people understand emotions and not go to an opera and be like, oh, that's weird. Just be like, wow, how would I react in that situation? Or, oh, I want that freedom to feel that way. To burst out into an aria of love or hate, you know.
It's about learning empathy, and I think that's what we as performers embody, is that practice of empathy. And so if we can give that to someone else, to learn how to empathize, so that maybe you are going through something hard, that you can connect to someone else who has a sense of really real emotions on stage, can be good. So there's that. So the emotions of like on stage and then after stage, and figuring those things out. And it is a balance, and it's unique to this field that other maybe counselors and other people deal with it in different ways, but really embodying those emotions. It's unique.
I think good advice might be find a hobby, because we get to do what we love, so people think it's weird that we would have a hobby. But Sarah is awesome at Tai Chi. And
I'm getting there.
She loves Tai Chi.
I like Tai Chi.
And she's better than she thinks. I love salsa dancing. And we've invested in these things to say, this is outside of my art form. And it comes in handy. Dance definitely comes in handy. We've incorporated Tai Chi into some of our shows. But the point is, it's something outside that we do to just cut loose and not overanalyze or critique, and just get that physical movement to release all emotions. And so find a hobby.
Find a hobby. Run half marathon.
Yeah, run a half marathon, journal, find a counselor if you need it. And there's no shame in that.
None at all, no.
So.
I heard someone say that going to counseling is having someone help slow down the thinking process for you. I think that's a great way of thinking about it. So it just helps you like stop and think through what's going on, and someone else may be able to see that better. So no shame at all.
No, love our counselors.
So emotions are a huge part of the business. They're a huge part of being a performer. Not to be afraid of, but also to understand that it affects things.
Yep, it affects things.
Yeah.
So hope this was helpful.
Yeah. So find good hobbies.
Yeah.
And find people to talk about it with you.
Right.
That you're not alone. That there's other artists.
Yeah. Support groups.
Yeah.
Huge. Not like, oh, I sign up for this group, but like surrounding yourself with friends, family, other artists.
Yeah.
People you can trust. So sometimes that takes the place of a counseling session.
Yeah.
Just having a good friend.
That's right. So thank you. And don't forget you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as we talk about the business.
That's right.
Facebook, Twitter, you can visit our website and see upcoming things that we're doing. And we hope that you'll share your lives in the art and adventures you're on. So thank you.
Great. Bye.
Bye.